There was little doubt about what sank the Titanic for decades after the accident. When the Unsinkable ship, the world's largest and most luxurious ocean liner at the time, collided with an iceberg in 1912, it sank with almost 1,500 of its 2,200 passengers. The mystery of how and why the ship sank disappeared from the world when it sank into the North Atlantic Ocean. The Titanic sank because of the iceberg, not because of flaws in the ship were revealed, according to two official studies done soon after the accident. The vessel was found undamaged at the bottom of the ocean in both investigations. The ship's deceased captain, E.J. Smith, was held responsible for speeding through a known ice field in the dark waters off the coast of Newfoundland at 22 knots. The Titanic case was thought to be closed. When oceanographer Robert Ballard finally found the ship's wreckage 2.5 miles down on the ocean floor in 1985, he discovered that it had broken in half on the surface before sinking after years of searching. His discoveries resurrected the Titanic in the popular mind. Experts were perplexed as to why it had cracked. Was the Titanic, the invincible ship, weak if the official inquiries were incorrect? The first sections of the ship were brought to the surface a few years after Ballard discovered the wreck, raising even more questions when they appeared to offer physical evidence that low-quality steel may have caused the accident. Titanic's frightening final moments, with its stern soaring high into the air before it fractured in two and vanished, were seared into popular memory in 1997, thanks to James Cameron's film Titanic, which generally mirrored the scientific consensus at the time. A group of historians, naval architects, and materials scientists contend in two new books that new evidence has further unraveled the iconic Titanic account, raising more questions about the disaster's origins. Jennifer Hooper McCarty, a materials scientist at Oregon Health and Science University, and Tim Feck, a scientist at the National Institute of Standards and Technology, argue in What Really Sank the Titanic, new forensic discoveries that it wasn't the ship's steel that was weak, but the rivets, the all-important metal pins that kept the steel hull plates together. Later, a book titled Titanic's Last Secrets was published, which details the work of wreck diving historians Richie Kohler and John Chatterton, who claim two recently discovered pieces of the Titanic's bottom reveal the ship's stern never rose as high in the air as many Titanic experts, including Cameron, believed. Scientists had to wait more than 70 years to examine the wreck's first physical evidence. The steel cracked when it was dropped into ice water and smashed with a hammer. Stronger rivets might have slowed the Titanic's sinking, but once water entered 6 of the ship's compartments, it was only a matter of time before it sank. However, questions remain regarding how and why the ship eventually broke apart and sank. In 2005, Kohler and Chatterton led an expedition that discovered a new clue. They came across 2 large pieces of the ship's bottom on the ocean floor, as they wandered away from the main disaster location. A closer look revealed that the 2 hull portions had separated exactly where the ship had split in 2, making them a possible key to the ship's final moments. Yes, absolutely. A thicker hull or better rivets might have kept the ship afloat for longer. However, the Titanic was built as a passenger liner, not a battleship. The ship was built to the best of their knowledge at the time and to the proper standards. This is the real reason behind the failure of invincible ship Titanic.